At Itella, responsibility has been a cornerstone of our operations for almost 400 years. Let us stop for a moment and think about what this means in our work.
In mail communications, we take care of social responsibility, for instance by offering nationwide postal services as required by law and in as customer-oriented a way as possible. Regarding environmental responsibility, we have already some significant achievements, such as carbon-neutral deliveries. While mail communications operates mainly in Finland, our employees represent dozens of nationalities. This is why respect and equal treatment in everyday work is really important for us.
One of the practical challenges related to an ethical business is that we are international. Itella Information operates in 11 countries. We are not only comply with the local laws and official regulations and instructions, but also as employee with the code of conduct of one harmonized Itella. Due to the nature of the business, the content of the code of conduct emphasize the fact that our business partners' trade secrets are confidential, and therefore it's crucial to especially follow data security rules.
Excellent points. For us in logistics, ethical business practices give us competitive advantage, since an increasing number of customers are interested in the corporate responsibility policies of their partners and suppliers. In Russia, for instance, we have already benefited from our reputation as a clean operator among large international corporations. The cultures of the countries we operate in are different, but our shared values guide our behavior, and the employee code of conduct applies to all of us.
As you heard, it is really important that we are all committed to honest and open operations. This video has been made with all of us in mind, and if needed, you can watch it as many times as you want. The principles of Itella's corporate responsibility are based on Itella's values. The Employee Code of Conduct, which is directed at everyone at Itella, deals in more detail with compliance with laws and regulations, fair business practices, non-discrimination and equal opportunity, avoidance of conflicts of interest, the prohibition of unethical commercial practices, and responsibility for the environment, compliance with laws and regulations. We must all know the applicable laws and official regulations and instructions concerning our own work and comply with them. For example, if customs duties or export and import restrictions are part of your job, you must be familiar with related legislation. Local rules. It is important to respect the norms of different cultures, and it is good to know that legislation varies in different countries. If Itella's rule is stricter than the local rule, we comply with Itella's rules. If the local rule is stricter, we comply with that rule.
Кодекс поведения включает в себя много важных принципов, например, таких как соблюдение законодательства стран присутствия компании Itella. И я верю, что каждый сотрудник должен следовать принципам Кодекса поведения.
Fair business practices. We have respected trade secrets and protected other confidential information in our operations for hundreds of years. Be worthy of this confidence in your work, comply with our common operating principles, and act in accordance with our values. Confidentiality. When we collect customers' data while handling their shipments, messages, or packages, we should ensure that the confidentiality is preserved.
Pracując jako operator skanera w Polsce, mam dostęp do różnych rodzajów poufnych informacji. Wiem, że nie wolno mi dzielić się tymi informacjami, a także wykorzystywać ich dla własnej korzyści.
Non-discrimination and equal opportunity. At Itella, we respect human rights. These are protected in commonly accepted international declarations. As well, we emphasize mutual respect. It is extremely important that we comply with working instructions and security guidelines issued, as this is the only way to guarantee a functional working environment for all. Point of view on correct operating methods. The following matters, for example, should be taken into account in recruitment, assessments, and other interactions. We treat everyone equally and respect one another.
Omassa työssäni esimiehenä on välttämätöntä, että kohtelen jokaista henkilöä arvostavasti ja tasapuolisesti. Rotu, uskonto, sukupuoli tai poliittinen mielipide, kuin ei myöskään ikä, kansallisuus, seksuaalinen suuntautuminen, siviilisääty eikä vammaisuus saa vaikuttaa suhtautumiseen.
Avoiding conflicts of interest. We should all avoid situations where our personal interests may come into conflict with the company's interests. Itella requires employees to comply with all conflict of interest policies. Family relations. If you are concluding an agreement with a supplier who is related to you through family or friendship, you cannot take part in the decision-making process.
IT-maailmassa on paljon toimijoita, ja toimittajaehdokas voi olla jonkun meidän perheenjäsen. Valintaan pitää olla yleisesti hyväksytyt perusteet. Tällaisessa tilanteessa on hyvä pohtia, kuka voi osallistua päätöksentekoon.
Unethical commercial practices and operating methods. Bribery. At Itella, we do not approve of corruption or bribery in any form. Everyone is committed to using legal and ethical commercial practices and operating methods. Strictly prohibited. All bribes and corruption in any form are strictly prohibited. Gifts and hospitality may also be considered as bribes if they are valuable.
Normal gästfrihet är tillåtet i försäljningsarbetet, men kom ihåg att olika företag och myndigheter har olika regler gällande emottagare av gåvor. Vissa gåvor kan vara besvärliga för emottagaren och kan till och med tolkas som mutor.
Hankintatoimessa meitä voidaan yrittää saada myötämieseksi toimittajille. Hankinnan parissa tilapäisestikin toimivan tulee olla erityisen tarkkana. Matkat, seminaarit, asiakastilaisuudet, päivälliset, lounaat, liikelahjat ja niin edelleen. Kysy itseltäsi, onko tämä todellakin tarpeellista liiketoimintamme kannalta nyt ja minkä viestin annan sidosryhmilleni?
Environmental responsibility. At Itella, we operate according to the principles of sustainable development. It is important that you comply with our operating instructions that concern, for example, recycling, energy saving, or an economical manner of driving. Sustainable development. The principles of sustainable development are at the core of our business operations. Itella also wants to help its customers and the entire society to reduce the load on the environment. We reduce energy consumption and emissions in both transport and properties.
Omassa työssäni on kunnia-asia tuntea ympäristövaikutukset. Pyrinkin ajotavallani vähentämään niitä. Ja samalla viestin päivittäin vastuullisuudestani myös muille.
Now you have become familiar with the Employee Code of Conduct. In the last section, we will review how these principles play out in everyday work. Who do you think is responsible for the realization of the Employee Code of Conduct? Your supervisor? Management? Human resources? Legal affairs? You? We are all responsible for the realization of the Employee Code of Conduct. You should never use subcontractors or suppliers who do not comply with these principles. You can promote the realization of the principles at your workplace as follows. Comply with the Code of Conduct in your actions and decisions. Support your colleagues to do the right thing. Intervene when you see that someone is acting incorrectly. If in doubt, ask. If I suspect procedures that may violate the law or this code of conduct, I ask for advice or report my suspicions. I can contact my supervisor, contact the business audit unit, write to the email address ethics@itella.com. Use the online form or the paper form from Point. You have now gone through the online learning material. You should now understand the following. The Employee Code of Conduct is an absolute guideline for all of us. The Code of Conduct concerns compliance with the laws and regulations, fair business practices, non-discrimination, conflicts of interest, bribery, and the environment. The way to act if you have questions about the Code of Conduct or if you suspect actions that violate the Code of Conduct. Ethical and legal operations are imperative from the point of view of success and a good reputation. We are all committed to complying with the Employee Code of Conduct. Now move on to the final questionnaire. Answering these final questions registers your completion of the program.